Now let's have a look at the initiate and decide for user interface design. We're trying to decide what format we want the user interface design to be in or be represented in, and trying to decide what kind of methods we're going to use to develop the user interface. So we'll start with the format. Usually interface designs, particularly computer interface designs, tend to be done with wireframes. That's probably the simplest prototyping design format that you can use. But more recently, some tools have become available that enable you to prototype the entire appearance of the user interface design to realistic proportions. So it will look different depending whether you're putting it on a computer screen or a phone or tablet type screen. But the prototyping tools can be quite good. Unfortunately, they also have the characteristic that they are fairly seductive, and you spend an enormous amount of time playing with the appearance rather than concentrating on the design itself. Now, so far as the methods are concerned, you do have to decide how you're going to go about it. Are you going to start from a task-oriented perspective? Now, bear in mind that with the user interface design, you're trying to design an interface where the user can achieve what it is they want to achieve without the computer, the device, getting in the way. So the interface should help them to achieve that with minimal interference. Now, that can be different depending on different tasks. Usually it's necessary to try and understand the user and understand what they're trying to do in the circumstances. So if you can, this might well involve going and asking a user, an actual user, if one of them is available, but sometimes it's not possible and you just might have to predict what they're going to do. One useful approach is a scenario-based approach. Now, these scenarios should be available through the requirements that would have been gathered from the user or from the customer. But frequently these requirements for the user interface are insufficient because, after all, somebody has looked at the requirements from the point of view of functionality, not from the point of view of usability. Nevertheless, scenario-based requirements are usually fairly good for showing what the user is trying to do at the time, and that's a pretty good starting point to designing your user interface, is to track through the various scenarios. There is also a number of heuristics available, or criteria for usability. Commonly available now is Nielsen's heuristics. This is a collection of 10 heuristics for user interface design, and they're gaining a lot of credibility because they are fairly they're good, they're useful, they're not difficult, they're in many ways basic common sense, but they will keep they will produce a better user interface than if you didn't use them. They're not the only collection of heuristics that are available, so part of your initial decisions would be which ones are you going to use.